Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. This is the Russian steel factory, the biggest one they have. The last night some of the drones decided to visit it. At least 2 of the drones were successful with their mission, as you can see, so it was a big kaboom in that factory. Let me show you the location of it. So here's Ukraine with the capital city of Kiev, and let's go to the Lipetsk Oblast, the Russian Federation, and to the Lipetsk city. You can see that it's quite big, and here is the area where people live, and all of that part on the south is the factory. It's absolutely enormous. And this part over here was targeted by the drones. Later on, the factory caught fire and stopped its operation. The eyewitnesses say that the critical part of the factory was targeted and severely damaged. It's like a Lord of the Rings movie showing murder or something. If we compare the pictures, you will see that this area was targeted. It is responsible for the cooling down of the special gas that is used to produce the steel. A very sensitive area. This is the website of their company. It's called LNMK, the biggest Russian steel producer. They produce the steel not just for civilians, but also for military, Russian tanks and armored vehicles. By the way, the main manager, the director of this company, is not yet under the sanctions. So at least temporarily this factory will not be able to produce the steel for the Russian army. It's the big win for Ukraine. My friends, before we continue, let me tell you about my partner and also the sponsor of my channel, the Atlas VPN. They have the super deal especially made for my followers, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium just for $149 per month plus 1 year extra. This is the best deal from all of the premium VPN services. I was told that the deal is time limited and will finish soon. So if you want to get a reliable VPN service, it's my high recommendation for you. And because of the multiple devices support from a single account, I'm sure that my laptop, my iPad and my smartphone are well protected. And just recently then I was sitting in a local cafe using the public Wi-Fi. I got the warning from Atlas VPN that someone tries to reach my YouTube channel and Google account. That is why I changed the password and immediately disconnected from that network. That security monitoring is not available for many VPNs, and luckily Atlas VPN got it. You may hear that English is not my native language, so I constantly studied. How I study, I just basically watch the Netflix series, and some of them are not available in my country. That is why I switch on the Atlas VPN to watch my favorite series. With Atlas VPN, you simply don't have any limits or any kind of restrictions. Atlas VPN may help you to avoid the price discrimination, so by changing your virtual location, you may purchase, for example, airline tickets with a great discount. Atlas VPN is blocking unknown ads, it restricts the government access to your accounts, and also you are unreachable for hackers. Awesome. Right now Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. So my friends, please check out my personal link in the video description just below, or scan the QR code available on the screen, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $149 per month, plus you obtain 12 months extra. It is the best offer out there, so what are you waiting for? Hurry up to join the club. The Russian channels say that it is the fire of the Sukhoi factory, which is located in Moscow. They produce the airplanes Sukhoi over there. Well, honestly saying, judging on the view of this hangar, it's not really important. I think that it wasn't used to store the aircraft parts, but rather than to maintain the facility itself with some of the vehicles or equipment. Also, at least from this side, we may see lots of the snow near to the entrance. It means that it hasn't been used for a very long time, at least from this side. But maybe I'm wrong, and definitely those are the hangars for the storage of the spare parts. By the way, the information about lost Sukhoi 34 the last night hasn't been confirmed. About the Russian AVAX airplane A-50 that was shot down the last night, one more A-50, the Russian resources reported about 10 crew members who were on board of this aircraft, and all of them lost their lives. 5 of those servicemen got the rank of major. Tremendous loss for the Russian Air Force and for the Russian military. Will they fly again with those airplanes in that area? Very risky for the Russian Air Force. I expect that they will continue to fly because it's the only option for them to see what is happening in the Ukrainian airspace. Russia blamed the own crew of the S-400 system in Taganrog. They arrested the personnel of the air defense unit, and now investigation is ongoing. So not only Russia lost the airplane, the air crew, but also the crew of the air defense system. Nice. Let's go for the military map update. We have good news and the bad news as usual. Let's go for the good news first. Ukraine was able to make Russia lose their ground ground near to Novomikhailivka, so it was the day before yesterday and it was this morning. Russians lost this tree line and one of the fields. However, the fight for Novomikhailivka still continues. Russia entered the settlement around 4 days ago, but wasn't able to move further. Their goal is to encircle all of those settlements which were built along the river. That is why the fight for Pobeda village is so important, so Ukraine sent reinforcements over there. If Russia takes it under control, they may go from this direction and also they may advance from this side. But yesterday Ukraine also tried to attack from this place, seizing the Russian attack vector from the south. As you can see, the Russian tactics is mostly the same throughout the war. They advance with clouds, causing Ukraine to leave villages, cities or whatever. That is what they want to do here. Is Russia going to be successful over here as well? Maybe, because we are in lack of the resources. Russia also has the other main goal in the place. They want to take Kurakhove under control. It is a very important town and Russia wants to use this road for advancement. But I'm not sure about the effectiveness of the Russian army, because here are some of the settlements and here too. So Ukraine may use those to attack the Russian advancing forces. But pro-Russian or Russian military bloggers say that Kurakhove will be under control by the Russian army very soon. I'm not saying that it is not possible, but with the current Russian resources, this operation will waste many more forces of the Russian army, like thousands more. And now let's go to the latest update of Avdiivka region. As you can see, Russia advanced to Lastochkina, taking it under control. It was yesterday. It is today. There was the heavy fight, but finally Ukrainian forces left their positions in Lastochkina. Our military command said that Ukraine withdrew the forces to more prepared defense lines. I wonder where those defense lines are located. Clearly not in this place. I hope somewhere over here at least. All of that region is under the big threat right now. But if Russia wants to occupy all of the Donetsk Oblast, they need to advance for 63 kilometers. It's quite a lot for them. It's around 50 miles. With the current Russian pace and their losses, they need to waste their army, entire army, to advance to the border of the Donetsk Oblast, because there are lots of the villages and towns like Avdiivka, even bigger than Avdiivka if we speak about Slavyansk and Kramatorsk. And here I would say that this task is impossible for the Russian army, at least in their current state. Also, I heard some of the messages that Ukraine is losing this war, Ukraine is losing the ground, so it's very bad. Yeah, obviously it's very bad, but Ukraine is not losing this war. The Russian army will not be able to fight as they did in Avdiivka all the time. First of all, because of the losses. What they did last year with the help of the Wagner army is they took Bakhmut city, which is bigger than Avdiivka, much bigger. And here all of the mighty Russian army was able to take Avdiivka under control, losing thousands of soldiers and hundreds of the military vehicles. So for now, what they're capable to do is to take one city or one town per year. And Ukraine was able to liberate Izum, Kupiansk, which is by the way bigger than Bakhmut, and all of those settlements and all of those towns in around 2 weeks. That is what I call a success, but what Russia is doing is the defeat and heavy losses for the army as exchange for the ruined Ukrainian settlements. So I don't see the perspective for Russia to advance to Zaporizhia, Dnipro or Kramatorsk, Slavyansk. This year it's absolutely not possible for them, even if Ukraine would lose every sort of the military help, but we still have it from our at least European allies. And there's the chance that we're gonna obtain the military support from the United States too. Russia also took some ground on the south. As I expected, they entered Robotine with heavy losses. They lost many of the vehicles on the way, and now the fight is ongoing in the village. It is the latest photo of the Russian forces in Robotine. This is the Russian tank, and you can see the third separation. The deep state military map source confirms that Russians sometimes enter the village, but it's the one-way ticket for them. They do not return back and totally ambushed there. Ukraine created the trap for them, firing artillery and ambushing them at the place. The local authorities of so-called Transnistria say that there is the threat from Ukraine and Moldova to start some of the attacks on them. This is the unrecognized country jammed between Ukraine and Moldova. There were some rumors that they want to join Russia, and definitely they want to do it. I'm sure that something will happen over there. The aim of Putin is not just Ukraine but Moldova too. Well, if Putin recognizes Transnistria as the part of the Russian Federation, basically it will change nothing. Russians are unable to send reinforcements over there, so Ukraine and Moldova may cooperate to get rid of the self-proclaimed republic, which is really small. That is why I don't think that Putin will annex the part of Moldova in a close perspective. There was the meeting of some of the world leaders today in Gostomel airport near to Kiev. Zelensky marked the beginning of the war, which started 2 years ago. As you can see, demolished airplanes. By the way, I also went to the place. If you want to see the review of Gostomel airfield, I'll put my video in the video description just below for you to see it. The airport was devastated. German Chancellor recorded the video address to Ukraine. He admires Ukrainian courage. Well, I hope that Germany will supply the Taurus cruise missiles to Ukraine. They might help a lot and also will add more to Ukrainian courage, let's say, that Olaf Scholz admires. Meanwhile, the Washington Post came out with an article about the economy of the Russian Federation, that the sanctions are basically not working and unable to stop Russia, first of all because the countries like China and India are willing to cooperate still with Russia. Also, allies continue to purchase the Russian resources like the oil from India, and India gets that oil from the Russian Federation. Russia has a scheme of transferring the oil from their oil tankers to the oil tankers of the third countries. It is happening in the waters of Greece, Mediterranean Sea. So after this refueling, that oil is not longer considered as the Russian one, and sanctions cease to exist. This is what I call that bureaucracy wins against the logic. Probably it always wins. The leader of the Crimean Tatars, Mustafa Jamilov, who was forced to leave Crimea and now lives on Ukrainian-controlled territory, says that Crimean Bridge, so Crimean connection, will be cut this year. He mentioned that Ukraine has all of the tools to conduct this operation already and just waits for the proper time. Well, hopefully he is right, because I think that Ukraine is still out of the tools like Taurus cruise missiles or the ATACMS missiles with a proper range and proper warhead. There should be a combination of the drone boats, cruise missiles and ballistic missiles to be used at the same time to harm the Kerch connection for sure. President Zelensky also promised that Ukraine will use the Western-made weaponry only on its occupied territories, not on the territories of the Russian Federation. Fico Faka Fiso also recorded the address for someone, I don't know, saying that Ukrainian Nazis provoked Russia for this war. It is just crazy how this guy is following the Russian narratives. At the same time, he says that Russia performed the illegal action annexing Ukraine, but from his words, Ukraine asked for it. Fico Faka Fiso also said that West started the demonization of Putin but failed. It seems like Putin hijacked his mind and was speaking through Fico Faka Fiso. The bad thing that I see more and more of those politician populists arise in Europe and also in the United States. It's bad not just for Ukraine, but for the global stability. So Slovakia from our main ally turned into the Russian puppet because of the government change to this prick. Meanwhile, Russia opened the cringe exhibition of the drones and other units that they were able to destroy in Ukraine or in Russia, so this is the Ukrainian flag according to the Russian version. By the way, this is the China-made drone MiG 15 or something like that, and some of the other drones. Look at this face. Ooh, technology. There was also the inspection of the trophied M113 carrier that Russia was able to take by Shoigu, the greatest commander from all of the entire Russian history. He looks like, okay, this is the vehicle that he was smiling like, oh, this is a piece of crap here. And this is the Ukrainian-made vehicle. He went inside. This is the personal carrier vehicle Kozak, as far as I remember. And what is this? This is Ford. Shoigu, this is Ford. It's not Lada Kalina. It's not Lada Granta or Vesta. This is Ford. Just look at it. It is the space technology for Russia, and you still produce Lada. Well, this Ranger has the armor in the doors, that's it. Also, there was some of the weaponry, and Shoigu, everything of that is crap. Just look at his reaction. No, we're gonna handle it by wasting our Ivans. And this is the actual photo from the Russian positions published today. They used the Maxim machine gun that was made at first at 1886. But as you can see, for Shoigu, the old Russian weaponry is much better than modern-day technology of NATO. Couple of weeks ago, Putin met with the main judge of the Supreme Russian Court, and today this judge lost his life. Maybe he got some of the virus? Maybe we should expect something? Yeah, one day. There were some of the meetings around the world in support of Ukraine, so guys who support us, thank you so much for it. Especially for your constant support, because we see that the attention for Ukrainian topic dropped significantly for the last 2 years. The Russian opposition team of Alexei Navalny confirmed that the body of Alexei was given to his mother. They say that they are out of the information where the government will oppose the big funeral ceremony for Navalny. Hopefully it will be big and many Russians will go for it. Potentially there could be thousands of people, and for Russia to get rid of the funeral ceremony, if they start to beat and arrest people in procession, I think that even for Russian regime it is crazy. But I think that they might do it. Putin afraid to see this huge massive crowd, even bigger than on his meetings. That was the main reason not to give the body of Navalny to his mother. To make a secret funeral, and that's it. Elections in Russia in just few weeks, so we're gonna see how it might influence those. But I'm sure that Putin will get elected, because still the majority of the Russian people do support Putin rather than Navalny. And Navalny is dead already, so the only force that might influence something in Russia is Ukrainian army. My friends, don't forget to press your huge like to this video. By doing so, you help me a lot. And also please check out my personal link for the Atlas VPN Premium. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.